importance of it. So let's go over. So I'm gonna give you five hacks, 5 principles, 5 things. I'm gonna give you a process that you can use in order to create content, come up with unlimited ideas, come up with creative ideas, and then also be able to do it systematically. Number 1 is write this down, evergreen topics list. An evergreen topics list. An evergreen topics list. Right? An evergreen topics list. Let me make sure I got it because we're gonna do 5 today. 2, 3, 4, 5. So very first is, so coach, what do you mean by evergreen topic list? What an evergreen topics list is a running list of topics that you're always gonna have, right? That you're always gonna use. So what this looks like is I have on my phone a list of topics, and every time I think about a topic, or anytime I come across a YouTube video or Instagram video, if I have a personal conversation with somebody, these, I write the topics down, and it's ideally, I probably should have 1 location, but I have about 2-3 locations that if I come up with an idea of a topic to talk about, I'll put it in the queue, which is this evergreen topics list. And we call it evergreen because it's, these are topics that you may potentially talk about again in the future, right? These are just great topics. So a lot of the content that I come up with is because I've gotten the idea from somewhere. It might be, I'm gonna give you some quick examples. So it might be from a consultation call. Maybe somebody was telling me how they were struggling with, a specific issue in terms of, somebody might have said, oh, you know what? I feel like I'm going through imposter syndrome. I might say, ooh, that's a good video topic. How to overcome imposter syndrome, right? I might get it from seeing another influencer. So I might see another influencer post a piece of content about, whatever, about discovering your niche, right? And I might say, oh, what's my take on it? Right. So I'm always looking. I might see, it might come from comments. I might see somebody comment something. So it might come from a comment. It just might come from my own, personal experience. I might just be telling a story to somebody one day, and I saw somebody light up when I said a certain part of the story. Like, ooh, people really are feeling that part. So it might come from my own personal experience. And I'm giving us this is where I draw inspiration. By the way, what I'm telling y'all right now is not something that I read in a book. This is what I experienced over the last 7 years. Okay. So I get it from calls. I get it from maybe even client calls. Like, so if I'm doing touch points with y'all, or if I'm meeting with our mentors or whatever the case is, and they say something, I might say, ooh, you know what? That might be a good topic, right? Maybe I'm talking to y'all, or let's say Marcy's having a conversation and she might say, you know what? Some of the folks they seem to have some issues with this. I might say, ooh, that's a good topic to do. Even for these calls, right? Like, I draw inspiration based on the questions that y'all ask me, right? Based on what y'all put in a Facebook group. By the way, like, if you have like Facebook groups are a great way to draw inspiration. Or a lot of us are part of, who here is part of at least 5 Facebook groups, right? So there's no reason why you couldn't. Oh my God, do you know how much gold is in a Facebook group? Because people are asking questions and commenting all day specifically on your topic, right? So why not? Let me tell you what else. Courses, right? And master classes. I probably spent, I have no idea. Probably over the last, at least over the last 5 years. I don't really know how much I don't know how much. I know for a fact I spent tens and tens and tens of thousands of dollars on courses, on programs, on master. I spent a lot of money on my own development. And guess what? All of those I can draw from programs that I've joined. I can look at how they created curriculum. So some of us might want to spend money to join other programs that's in your niche, or buy books that are in your niche. Not necessarily because you're trying to learn it, but really you kind of want to see what they're talking about, what their questions are. I can say, for me, learning how to actually be a coach, I probably joined at least 10 programs. And I know it's way more than that. It's probably at least, because I got a whole list of I got a whole laundry list of logins. I probably got 40 actually. I've joined so many, right? And you got to be careful with that too. It wasn't at once. So I'm not telling you to go out and be a course or a program junkie. I'm not telling you to do that, right? Because we'll lose focus. But over the years, I've invested in learning and seeing what other people are doing. And what that allowed me to do was get a gauge and say, oh, that's what they see as important topics. What if I grab some of those and maybe I can kind of use those books, right? You can look up YouTube videos on your topic. So these are the places that I draw inspiration from. Number 2, write this down, is 4 concepts. 4 concepts, and I'm going to explain what that means. 4 concepts. Okay, Coach, what do you mean by 4 concepts? 4 concepts, and I'm not the originator of this idea, but I love it. I actually got this from my brother David Shands. He was telling me that make content simple by not just knowing what to say, but people like concepts, meaning people like concept, release, dates. Concept, release, dates. So when are you going to release the content? When are you going to release it? What day are you going to release it on? Okay. So that's really key. Oh, sorry, my head is blocking. Concept, release, dates. Okay. When are you going to release it on? So, it's literally that simple, right? So if it's going to be a show, like how Shay has her show, that's something that you tell the world. So if it's going to be every Wednesday, then guess what? Your show should be, if that's to be something, one, you should tell the world. You don't have to tell the world when you're going to release all your content, but if it's a show, they should probably know that. But you should know when you're going to release it. So what I would love to see is every Thursday, if you're going to do quotes, let that be quote Thursday. If you're going to release one piece of content, if it's going to be multiple pieces of content, just obviously know which ones you're going to do. If it's going to be all 3 or 4 pieces of content that day, then, just at least have what your cadence is going to be. If it's going to be 2 posts a day, if it's going to be a reel, and it's going to be coaching behind the scenes, content creation blocks. Content creation blocks. And I want you to put 2 hours is what I recommend. Content creation blocks. Content creation blocks. Content creation blocks is literally you scheduling when you're going to create the content. You have the idea, you have the concept, you got to actually create the content. So you want to put together block time, a certain time of the week where you create your content. So a majority of the time, like 90% of the time, you should already have content created for the week. There's going to be certain times where you're going to do content and it's going to happen as is, right? I'm still, of course, doing content as is, like I'm still doing it. But there's certain things that, like, I have a time set aside in my week where it's scheduled for just that, where I'm just gonna take all my content and I'm gonna create it for the week. Leverage editing apps. Leverage editing apps. Leverage editing apps. Right? Leverage apps. So leverage apps. This is what they do. This is what they designed to do. Right? Leverage editing apps. So so there's some apps out there that you can use. I'm gonna tell you some of mine. I know a lot of us use different types of apps. So you can actually share that. But let me share. I'm gonna share what's some of the ones I use and why I use them. So one of the ones that I use is, and I'll put this down in because I think it'd be helpful to just kind of share all at once. So I use a couple is screen record. So remember, I was telling y'all about how I do how I take clips of my coaching sessions. Well, you know how I do that? I take clips of those coaching sessions because I use QuickTime. I use screen recording QuickTime. So when I record it, it's on my laptop. Now, I might have had a 30-minute coaching session, but I might have said something fire minute 17, right? So what I'll do is instead of editing the whole thing and then creating more space, right, on my device or on my laptop, I actually use QuickTime on my laptop, which, and this is especially for Mac users, but you know, if you have a PC, there's an app, there's editing apps you can use. I don't know if there's one that's built in, but there's apps that you can easily look up and use. But the whole thing is you want screen record. So I use screen record and I use minute 17. So however long it went, it might have went to minute 19:30, and I'll just record that. And then I'll take that and then I transfer it from my laptop to my phone. And then I use other apps to edit on my phone, or if it's something that is a little bit more intricate, I might use Premiere Pro.